YouTube, it's your boy Mike T's back at you with another video. This one is pros and cons to the Silhouette Cameo 4 24-inch cutter, or should I say the Cameo 4 Pro. Now, in the last video, I talked about some of the things that it couldn't really do, or some of the things that I was having trouble with, and I was trying to figure out the best way to get it done. I had it since Christmas of last year, and as you guys know, Christmas for this year just passed. So I got it at Christmas 2020 and Christmas 2021 just passed. So with that being said, I can finally weigh in on my other pros and cons video. I didn't want to make one too soon, and I had decided I might as well wait to the end of the year to get things done. I'm going to take you through the program, show you some things that I've learned, and show you some things I'm still not fond of. My overall decision, we'll just have to wait and see. Stay tuned. So here she is. I haven't named her. I'm going to turn her on. Generally, I just stick with the Cameo 3 because this thing still gives me nightmares. Yes, nightmares. Like I said, there are some pros to it, but I still found a lot of cons. So it's on. I have to get the mat. The mat, I get it. You can load it by holding this up arrow for 5 seconds, I guess. Take your hand off. As soon as it blinks like that, you're able to load your mat on. Now, if I had my tripod, I'd be able to do this. However, I don't, which still leaves me with the situation. How would I one-hand load that big mat? There's no possible way. You definitely have to have both hands on the mat to even align the mat. Now, I heard a few people say that you can lift this lever up right here and then place the mat in here and close it so that holds the mat in place. I think that's a little bit too much. If I want to get something done, let's say 100 decals, I don't want to sit here and fight for a half an hour trying to load that big mat into the Cameo. What big mat? This big mat. I see where they were going with it. You know, larger cut area, larger surface to, get as many cuts as possible. However, being that I have a camera in one hand, trying to load this is going to be almost impossible. And I've tried to make a video showing it. Here it go. I was nowhere near it, and it still hasn't loaded. Now, it's not perfectly loaded. I wasn't within the lines. But just imagine trying to get this within the lines and record at the same time. That's definitely a hard task at hand. One of the features that I did find that I really liked about the Cameo Pro, or the 24-inch Pro cutter, was this Bluetooth option. Never has it been so easy to connect my Cameo to my Mac. Now, when I had my original one, this one, it took forever to hook this up wireless, and I'll turn it on, and still to this day, it's not wireless. It's actually wired, hardwired into the computer, so I can have that cut, and I don't have to worry about it losing the signal because of the Bluetooth. So I will say that they have improved on the Bluetooth connection for the Cameo 4 Pro 24-inch cutter. I'm actually going to load it up again one more time. We'll try to. We'll hold this for a few seconds till it's blinking. Okay, it's blinking. Camera in right hand. I'm going to try to line this up as best as possible, people. With one hand, just say I gave it a fair shot. You could say the table's not long enough. You could do all of that. Alright. So it's lined up. And it went in. My only problem is I had too much on this side, so it kind of went in to the right too much, and it's hanging out on this side. Let's try again. Okay, so this is my third attempt, so what I'm actually going to do is try to line it up first. In between lines, remember guys, I'm using one hand. No one's here helping me record this. And I'm just making sure I'm lined up with these lines right here. All right, so we're gonna press this actually one more time for a few seconds till it starts blinking. And it actually read the matte being there. It didn't even give me the option to do the blink. Okay, so maybe if we back it up a little bit. We'll leave her there. And I'll try to do this. Like, it's almost impossible doing this one hand. There's no one hand operating this thing. I'm not sure if you could do it on any other cutter, to be fair to Cameo. I don't want to just be biased and say that this should have been able to be loaded with one hand, but as far as I'm concerned, sticking with the theme of the Cameo, I mean, every other one you can load with one hand. Let's try to press this down again, but I'm going to make sure it's not in the sensor. There is a sensor in here somewhere that reads, so you got to be conscious of that. We'll hold down the button again until it starts blinking. And it's not allowing me to do it. All right, so I'm going to move the mat away. I'm going to hit the down arrow, and then I'll press the button to let it start blinking again. 1, 2, 3. Now it's blinking. I'm just going to try the best I can because I'm using one hand to line this up. There we go. After 3 tries, not so bad. But am I where I want to be? Well, that might do it. So you guys have to let me know in the comment section if that's a pro or if that's a con. I don't know. Drop a comment below. So that was the beginning, and I want to show you like one of the main things that I had an issue with, especially since I have to do 24-inch by 36-inch decals from here to there, or should I say from time to time. A lot of that time is for new store owners, folks that like stuff that goes across their windshield, you know, the things that it really should be used for. However, in my last tutorial, like in this tutorial, I had an overlapping problem. Now, I wasn't able to catch this on film, and I did waste a lot of vinyl decal. Now, if you guys are using like Metamark or some of that more expensive brand, you know that that's going to tap your pockets. No one can take a significant loss of 5 yards being lost at one time. That's something Cameo or Silhouette, whoever's the main guys behind it, has to take a look at. I'm just your everyday crafter, but I also own a crafting shop / a t-shirt custom apparel business. A lot of times those customers come to me and they ask me to make large decals. I result in using that Cameo 24-inch cutter because that's the biggest cutter I have. Now, can I use a 12-inch cutter to cut a 24 by 36-inch decal? Absolutely. Can I use the Cameo 4 by itself to cut a 24 by 36-inch decal? Absolutely. But it defeats the purpose when I've already purchased or have been gifted the 24-inch cutter from my wife for Christmas. I think you guys remember seeing that picture. If not, I'll probably try to drop it in here. But if it doesn't make it, just know I was excited like a fat kid that gets a big-ass piece of cake. I was really happy about the machine. That is, until I started losing on the machine. So right now I'm getting ready to delve into the program which runs the machine. And there's a couple of issues with that as well. From time to time, there's been upgrades from Silhouette, or the person that's running, or the company, or whoever it is that's running the background scenes of the Cameo. They made some adjustments, but not all adjustments were needed, or I haven't seen a positive effect from. So what I'm saying is the adjustments that they made, you might as well say, and in terms of someone that I once knew, is neither here nor there. They're not working here, nor are they working over there. So with that being said, let's hop into this program and see some of the things that may have happened. All right, so now we're in Silhouette Studio, and this is the business edition. And I'm going to go through a couple of things and show you guys what I found to be a problem. As you can see, my program keeps crashing. And the reason I started out on the screen is it took way entirely too long to open up. So whenever the actual program crashes, it always brings up your recovered documents. That's any document you may have had open at the time that the computer had crashed. For instance, this are some of the decals that I've been working on. Yeah, I'm just piecing stuff together. Here's just another blank one which was not blank. And it also gives you a timestamp to kind of help you keep, you know, track of where you was last working or where it last auto saved. I'm telling you guys right now, every time you make a stroke or every time you create a design, hit that save button. Command plus S and save it. You never know when this computer is going to crash. With all the updates that's going on, it's really annoying. And I've lost a lot of work. So let's dive in and see some of the things that I still have found an issue with, or that's still a con to me with this Silhouette Cameo 4 Pro. I'm going to head over to my library and let's see what's going on. It's reading or registering. All right, here is the library where I have a lot of the files that I have done. This is just for different jobs that I've worked on over the years. I have the Cameo 3 profile on here as well. So some of the stuff is from 2 years ago. And I just wanted to show you guys what's going on. So we'll take something fairly new, and I don't know about you guys, but lately I can see on my files on this screen that I saved, but when I go to click on there, sometimes the file is not there. It's completely missing. Alright, here's Hong Kong Phooey. Let's just click on there. I know I've worked on this one this year. Okay, we can see where the original photo is at. You can see where I took some stuff. That one's pretty cool. And I'm just opening these up just to make sure that most of my files is here, because you'll have an occasion where a file will save into another file space, which I'm still not, I don't know what's going on with that. We'll go back to library once again. Or it'll just completely go missing like this. Where did my file go? Now it was a stop sign here, and it says God knows, so you could basically pray to him at any time, and it had like 2 workers here. But the file is not here, it's completely missing. I named it God Know because that's what led me back to this certain file, and that's what lets me know what's in this file. I'm trying to give like a descriptive title so I know. We'll go back into the library one more time. I'm just trying to find one where I've actually had like a major hiccup. Let's see if the grizzly by nature has been affected. Okay. Here's an example. Here's my G-Fit, right? You can see the whole G-Fit thing that I put together. This is, oops, clicked the slide bar too quick. These tails are from another file. They're not even supposed to be in this file with my grizzly. So I'm not sure if that's the updates. I'm not sure if that's Silhouette getting things confused on their back end or what's going on. But clearly you could tell that these tails are from a baseball AAU team. And yeah, I did get them off the internet so I could copy and trace them and use them, you know, the way that I need to for one of the AAU teams. So I'm going to go down to one of the AAU teams and see what's going on. We'll go back to library. Let's look for a baseball thing. That's the Pythons. The bag. I'm trying to look for the team that I actually did. Ohio Spikes. That's where the tails came from. They should have been in here. Okay, so I have part of what I was using for the Ohio Spikes. And looks like some incompleted work, which is not how I generally leave it. I usually leave the whole image put together and on the mat, so when it looks at, like, when it finally closes out, I have a representation of what's actually in the file. Hence the reason why I named the file the way that I name it, Ohio Spikes. I knew that the Ohio Spikes was an AAU team. I would need to see their logo right up front. Yes, this is a representation back here of the trays, but generally all of this should have been put together and over here. So let me go out and see if I can get another example. Let's try the Python instead. Alright, so this grizzly right here is from an image from somewhere else. This is one of the AAU teams, the Pythons, Ohio Pythons. There's another grizzly. Why is this in with the AAU logo? It doesn't make sense. To me, that's a huge con. When I put these files in my library and I save them, I'm expecting them to be saved as I have left them, not to be saved with additions from other files. That can be very complicating, or it can lead to a blank box like this, where this was a rifle decals. You can see it says clear as day, rifle decals. Let me go back to the library. This was created some time ago. I can't tell you the exact date because there's no way to hover to tell you the date. And I kind of stuck on this for a while because I thought this is very important. I think people need to see and they need to know what's going on. Like, if they keep updating this silhouette and it's not beneficial to us, what are the updates truly for? So as you guys seen this far, it's been all types of issues. Now, I am going to go back to the machine and I am going to attempt to make a cut. But yo, silhouette, what's up with my files disappearing and ending up in other boxes? What's up with all the pointless upgrades? Let's show them some of the upgrades they supposedly did to the tools, which I have no idea what they are, but we're going to see what they are, or try to at least figure out what it is that they've been doing. If your silhouette's been lagging or overlapping or overcutting, drop a comment on this video. Let them know I'm not alone and I'm not against Silhouette. Let's get that out. I love Silhouette Cameo. It's the first machine that I started out with. It's the machine that actually has helped me grow thus far. I haven't relied on any other cutter. So I'm just simply weighing in my opinions on this Cameo Pro and all the updates for the Silhouette Cameo. Alright, so now let's take a look at some of the different features and things that they have added that I still don't understand. So as you see, I just clicked at the top of the bar. That's the rifle decals that mysteriously went missing, but that's not what we're here for. So we're just going to go back to Untitled 1, and I'm going to leave all of these up. The Untitled 2, 3, Grizzly Comic, Ohio Spikes, Python logos, rifle decals. In the first review, I was upset about the actual eraser feature. So right here, I'm just going to make a star. I'm going to go back and click my arrow after my computer registers. It's been on sleep mode for a while. I did a computer cleanse actually too to help my Mac run a little bit better, as I am saving for screen printing equipment. Alright, I'm going to move this star down here to the center, and I'm going to give it some color so you guys can see everything. The color I'm going to use is black. Alright. Now I'm going to go back to my left drop-down menu on the left-hand side of your screen. And I'm just going to go all the way down to the eraser tool, which is third from the bottom or, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th icon down. It comes insanely huge. Look at how big that is. Now, they did give you the option to make the size a little bit smaller, so I'm up here at the top where it says size, and I just dragged it to its lowest setting, or its smallest setting, which is 0.375. That's not bad. That's cool. Alright, yeah, I can dig it. You can also turn that circle into a square. These are just for demonstration purposes. Then you are also able to go from solid to a whole array of different things that you can use. I haven't did a lot of studying on it, so I'm not trying to give a class per se over it, only over the functions of the actual eraser tool itself. Here's my issue. I'm going to press Command and plus to make my screen bigger. As I do that, my eraser gets bigger. That was one of the things that was driving me crazy. So if I had something intricate, like I wanted to just get in here, let me see, what's the best way? If I just wanted to get in here and knock that out, I couldn't do it because my eraser is insanely huge. Now in the original 4.3 version, whenever you shrank or made the screen bigger or smaller, everything shrank. And the eraser was a manageable size to get in there. Even with me minusing out the screen, it's still that same size. I don't understand that function at all. If someone could explain that to me, that would greatly help. Because as I zoom in, now you can see I'm still at the smallest setting, 0.375. The only thing I did was zoom in my screen. But what if I wanted to just get out the tiniest little notch in here? I can't. It's going to leave that big old square. Command Z to put that back. So another thing that I did notice is that they gave you more functions with the knife tool. I'm not sure if that compensates for the eraser not shrinking all the way down to the smallest little dot that it could be, which I would think at this point it should at least go to 0.1, you know, just the tiniest of things. But I'm going to go over to the knife tool, which is directly up underneath that eraser tool, and I'm going to make a slice. Now, you have a choice here when making a slice. Up here is a drop-down menu, and it tells you all the available different settings that you can use for that knife tool. So I'll hit the drop-down. You got your straight, you got your poly, which is like a kind of curved kind of thing, action going on there. Oh, well, still on straight. Switch to poly. And it gives you like the little connect the dot kind of vibe, and then you're able to just cut that out completely. It gives you the freehand, which I skipped a curve. I'm going to go back, but this is the freehand. Then we'll go back up here to the curve, which the curve gives you the angle, which also gives you the actual button in the middle, or the curve in the middle to do whatever angle it is that you're trying to achieve, which is pretty slick, I would say. And then you click it one more time to complete that curve. Freehand I just showed you, triangle being just one and the same. Bam, like so. Now you got a bunch of triangle cuts. Triangular. Sawtooth, almost the same. Square. Dovetail, serrated 2 in the wave, which I'm pretty sure they did this so that you could use the knife tool to get more precise. Like if I just wanted to get in here, I would go to my knife tool as opposed to using my eraser tool. I would just go to the knife and either do a straight cut just to get that little bit out of there, if I can get down there. And you can see with the updates, it's like not the most precise when it comes to doing this. I'm not too sure what's going on, but I do want to just cut this piece right here. And as you see, I can't. Peep where my knife tool is at. It's actually down where that hump is. Yet the red line is still up top. I'm not sure what's going on with that. But to get to the original problem at hand was the size of the eraser. Now we'll mine this back out, and yeah, it does go a little bit small, but you notice that my image went small too because I zeroed back out of the zoom, which makes it very impossible to just get inside of here. Now, the option to have a square is cool, or to have the circle is cool, but still, if I want to just get inside of that little square right here where the circle is hovering, if I just want to hit that, bam, I did, but I also got on the outside of it, which is what I was trying to avoid. I didn't want this access. I just wanted a direct circle right here or inside of this actual square. You cannot do that with the eraser tool. I don't know what happened with that, but guys, bring it back to where the eraser actually shrinks when the zoom shrinks or when the zoom goes zoomed or magnified for that sake. That's like a major flaw, I think, with it. And it takes away some of the easiness of actually operating in Silhouette Studio Business Edition. Some of the other tools that they have improved on was the warp function, which is down here. And most of these things, like the eraser is going to come in the natural, but you won't be able to use this warp function if you don't have the business edition. So we'll just type anything. We'll type my. We'll add another my. All right, and same thing. I'm going to give it some color just so you guys can see it a little bit clearer. I'm also going to zoom out a little bit. So I have my encapsulated. Now I have my warp tool, which is down here on the bottom, the third one from the bottom. And I'm going to open up my warp tool. It says warp selected shapes. There we go. I've warp selected shapes. So we'll pull down here. We'll go up here. And this is just like to give like your words some more definition, a little bit more action to it. Something that's just different from the normal. Well, you can see it there perfect. We'll encapsulate it again. And now that it's warped, I'm going to try to offset it. We'll go and offset it. And it starts at the 0.125. Check out my warp function. The warp function, in the way that I warped it, it kind of cut off my actual Y. And not in a uniform way. So let's click off of that and see how that turned out. We click off of it and it just gives you the regular my offset. It does not give you the warped my. See how that's all Willy Wonka? I'm going to do it one more time. You can see that the shape is definitely Willy Wonka. Down here is just a regular. Imagine trying to go cut and this is what you get instead of the warped way that you chose. That can also be a nightmare. So the update for that or the improvement on that is very well needed. I think they need to focus more in on that. And this is my second half to pros and cons. There may be a pros and cons 3 if we can get a decent update. But right now, my only option is to go back to 4.3. Well, when operating that 4.3 Silhouette Studio, it's not as compatible with that Cameo Pro 24-inch cutter. And that's the issue. Remember, in the beginning I said I needed this to do window decals. I was like a kid with a piece of cake when I got it for Christmas. I was excited in all the new features and all the new different things that I can do. Now don't get me wrong. I'm still able to do a lot with it the way that it is. However, there's definitely room for improvement. And I would say more so room for improvement than the whole overall functionality of the program the way that it is now. Can I do my basic Grizzly logos and word fonts and stuff like that? Sure. But ultimately, when I upgraded to this Cameo 24-inch Pro cutter and the updates, I was assuming to get that much more. Let's take a look at something else really quick. Hold on. Let me get to you guys. I never did try the internal. Let's see if that did anything. Okay, we'll try again. Warp, hit the internal offset, apply, and no, nothing. Actuality, I should have had a line on the inside of these my's where it had been warped, and it should look similar to this, as if I used a regular word. So let's bring a regular word over and see. I'm just curious. You got a friend in me. Let's try that. Move this my out the way, and let's just do an off internal, or actually, let me add a color first so you guys can see it. We'll use red. Go back to the offset button, which is the star surrounded by the star outline, and see if we could do an internal offset. Did an internal. Let's move this out the way. Nothing. Can we get one on this? Yeah, there we go. So we can get one after we've applied an offset. So once you've applied an offset, I guess you can apply an internal offset according to the way that this program is set up right now. To me, that could be kind of a nightmare, because if I wanted to do an internal offset on friend or my, I would have to first make the offset of the my, given that it worked the proper way, which we know it's not. We're going to try again. Just so we have it on camera, I'm going to the offset, and it gives me the Willy Wonka kind of offset. I click off of it, and bam, there we go. Using the same where everything's at, we're going to do an internal offset, and we're able to do it. Move this out the way, and this should go perfectly in there. Now, if I had the basic silhouette, I would expect this to happen. However, I pay for the business silhouette, or the business studio. So I feel as though that this should easily be able to form or adhere to the way that this is formed. So there's a couple of issues still lingering with this, and now we're into the new year. I've had some time to play with it, not a lot of time, because I'm often doing decals and I'm trying to find the best way to get it done. And I have the other cameos, the 4 Pro, and the 15-inch cutter. So, and then I also have my Cameo 3. I just find ways to manipulate it through there, but all in all, this is my overall opinion, and thank you guys for watching. If you have any comments or any suggestions that may lead me in the right direction, I'm definitely open to hear. Please drop a comment down below in the video and let me know what some of your experiences are. I know from time to time I still get comments on, well, is the silhouette working any better? Are you still having issues? Yes, I'm still having issues. And then they're doing so many updates that sometimes my program crashes, like I showed you guys earlier, or stuff just completely go missing, like my decal I did for the rifles. Or I'll have something merged in with something else that had nothing to do with anything else. It's the AAU team. This is from my Grizzly logo. These were saved at 2 complete separate times. I want to say probably like 4 or 5 months apart from each other. So how did this end up in this box, this save box, or specific window? I'm not sure. But hopefully we can get that figured out. I've been going down here to see if there's anything that I've missed, which is the preference. It's actually like a hex star all the way at the bottom, far right. You can see me circling it to see if there's anything that I've missed, and there isn't. It says updates, which it does do it by itself automatically, And time again, if I do not close my silhouette out, it will close out itself and update. I have it on automatic, so there's really no fixing it from there. But yeah, if you guys can possibly help me out with some of these issues, I greatly make another video over it explaining where I went wrong or some of the things that I've been doing wrong on my behalf. But as far as I'm concerned, they got to get these updates together, especially when people use Cameo as much as they do Silhouette. I use this more than just a regular crafter. I actually use Silhouette Studio to design logos. I've used it to make some actual logos for AAU teams. I use it on a daily to make cutouts, stickers, any and everything you could just about imagine. On my channel, you'll see me using a Cameo in some form, fashion, or another. Really don't have another cutter. I'm looking into another cutter, but this is one of the reasons I'm looking into another cutter and into another design studio. It's been your boy Mike Tees. If you haven't liked, subscribe, comment, check out all the videos. Do your boy a favor, hit that thumbs up and drop a comment. I love all the responses that I get. And hello to everybody. If this is your first time, I make content like this all the time. Reviews, how-tos. I even go traveling occasionally. And some of the expos, the impression expos. But as with all good things, this one has came to an end. Peace.